Hello, hydrangea enthusiasts. Michelle Walford here from Lewis, Delaware, Zone 7B. And what you're looking here, some of the 79 hydrangeas I have on the 3/4 acres of my property. I have a limelight over here. I have these white schneeballs. I have some lace caps. I have these little beauties here, which are called Forever and Ever Peppermint. I bought that pink and that came through as blue. I have oak leaves and marisas, but I wanted to show you the problems with a florist hydrangea. And what is a florist hydrangea? A florist hydrangea is a hydrangea that is sold as a bouquet. So think of birthdays, Mother's Days, anniversaries, and in this case, funerals. 20 years ago, my mother died, and hydrangeas, pink hydrangeas, were very plentiful for the Easter market, which is right around when she died. So we used them in her funeral, and this is one that I brought back. This house was brand new. I really didn't know a lot about hydrangeas at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. We've all been there, right? And so I planted this in the ground. It leafed out and grew taller for 3 years, but did not bloom. On the 3rd summer, it finally started to bloom. And it did really well. But this hydrangea, unlike others that I buy at garden centers and nurseries, those are bred. They're bred for your zone. You'll see hardiness on them. They're bred for a height. I mean, how do they do that? They do it through breeding techniques. They take the best qualities of this shrub and that shrub, and through a long process, a patented process, they are able to release a good performing hydrangea into the market. That's why they're pricey, but it's why they do fairly well. And on the tag, it'll tell you it needs this. It's going to grow this tall. It's going to grow this wide. They know because it's genetically bred in, as is the color on a lot of them. Florist hydrangeas are meant to be showy, and they're meant to be tossed, really, if truth be told, into the trash after they're done. Can you grow them in the ground? Yes, you can. This hydrangea here is sensitive to everything. I've had this cut way down because I've tried to rejuvenate it. I've brought it back up. It has good years. It has bad years. It has years it does hardly blooms at all. It is susceptible to frost. It is susceptible to sun. Even though it's facing east, and I have this year I decided, yeah, I'm going to try an arbor. Before I go buy an expensive arbor, I wanted to put something up to see if this couldn't mitigate the sun that it's getting. But it's heat. And just look, this thing was festooned, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a glorious year. And then in late May and early June and all through June in Delaware, we've had 90, 95 degree heat almost every day. We've had rain. But just look, it's awful looking. That's probably the worst year as far as burning is concerned. This is all heat stress, a little bit of sun stress. There's a little bit of scorching right here. Look at that. And that might be because I water from the bottom. This gets watered twice a day. I have a hose bib right here. This gets watered. That's not the issue. The issue is that this shrub, the genetics of this shrub are meant to be very generic, and they're meant to be, it doesn't have any positive characteristics as far as endurance on it. So when you get a florist hydrangea and you stick it in the ground, you're going to get a mixed bag, and you may have years where it will do beautiful, and this looked like it was going to do beautiful, but climate change has really changed things. I don't remember ever getting 95 degree heat every single day in early June. We usually get that kind of weather in August. And by that time, your hydrangea blooms are spent anyway. So I just wanted to share my insights about florist hydrangeas. Look at those poor things back there. I mean, I'll deadhead this, but this is not a rebloomer. So back here and even under the canopy, well, you got a couple here that did okay, but for the most part, this is the kind of stress that it undergoes. Have some new blossoms here, but My solution to this is going to be to take some layerings and take some cuttings and then plant this in very, very deep shade. I have a big deep shade section of my garden, and that's probably where it's going to live out the rest of its life, because I think I'm going to pull this out. As sentimental as it is, if I can get some cuttings from it, I'm going to pull this out and maybe put a limelight in. This again faces east. It gets sun until about noon. I don't have any kind of tree canopy here, so the sun just beats down on it at noon. Anyway, I just thought I'd share, an frustrating experience with a florist hydrangea. Bye for now.